In ancient Mesopotamia, they're called the seven sages. In ancient India, it's Manu and the seven sages who appear after the flood, trying to restore the knowledge that was lost during the time of the flood. An example I often give is the Indus Valley civilization. Nobody actually knew that it existed until it was accidentally discovered while a railway was built. And then they found that there were these actually very, very sophisticated, very complex mud brick structures on a very large scale. Then they found that this culture had had a language, a fully developed written script. We can't read that script. The script exists, but we can't read it.
The story of the Indus Valley civilization, one of the earliest cradles of urban life, reads like a mystery novel filled with climatic twists, geological turns, and the shadowy figures of invaders. As we dive deep into the annals of ancient history, this civilization's gradual fade from the vibrant urban entity it once was around 1900 BCE to mere remnants by 1300 BCE has puzzled scholars and history buffs alike. Let's explore some of the intriguing theories that have emerged over the years for why this civilization suddenly vanished. Imagine living in a city where the once reliable monsoon rains start becoming erratic around 2200 BCE. This wasn't just inconvenient, it was catastrophic. The Indus Valley people, whose agricultural prowess depended on these rains, faced reduced yields and possibly famine as a result. Imagine rivers, the lifelines of your trade and agriculture, changing course due to tectonic shifts. Cities that were once bustling hubs of trade and culture could no longer sustain their populations. This wasn't just about less water for crops. Entire trade routes were disrupted, especially those with Mesopotamia, putting further strain on an already struggling economy. Now add to this scenario the threat of earthquakes. These weren't just minor tremors, but possibly significant quakes that could alter river courses, destroy sophisticated drainage systems, and turn well-planned cities into inhabitable ruins. The very foundations of urban life were literally and figuratively shaken. For a time, the theory of an invasion by nomadic Aryans gained traction, suggesting a dramatic end to the Indus Valley civilization. This theory, rooted in ancient texts like the Rig Veda, depicted a clash between the invading nomads and the settled peoples of the Indus Valley. However, the absence of clear archaeological evidence of such an invasion suggests that the civilization's decline was more a slow burn than a sudden collapse. Amidst these external pressures, internal societal and economic factors were at play. The strain of maintaining extensive urban centers alongside depleting resources could have led to social unrest and made these cities unsustainable. As trade with distant lands dwindled, possibly due to emerging competitors or shifts in trade routes, the economic backbone of the civilization weakened. When the British were laying down the tracks for the Indian railway system in the 19th century, they stumbled upon something extraordinary: ruins made of well-crafted bricks in the Punjab region. Little did they know, these bricks were the remnants of the Indus Valley civilization, a society that had vanished thousands of years before. At first, these ancient bricks found a new purpose under the wheels of progress, quite literally being used in railway construction. It's a bit ironic when you think about it, an ancient civilization helping to lay the foundations for modern transportation, all while its own story was buried in oblivion. Enter Alexander Cunningham in the 1870s, a man who could be seen as a detective in the realm of history. As the founder of the Archaeological Survey of India, Cunningham was among the first to take a scholarly interest in these ruins. However, even with his reports, the true significance of what they had found wasn't fully grasped. The pieces of the puzzle were there, but the picture was yet to be seen. The plot thickens with Sir John Marshall, who took the helm of the ASI in the early 20th century. Under Marshall's direction, the ASI turned its gaze to the prehistoric past, setting the stage for a discovery that would challenge the narratives of urban civilization's origins. It was Daya Ramsani who, in 1921, began excavating at Harappa, and soon after, Rakal Das Banerjee laid bare the wonders of Mohenjo-Daro. These sites revealed to the world a civilization of astonishing complexity and sophistication, with well-planned cities, advanced drainage systems, and a plethora of artifacts that spoke of a rich cultural life. The discoveries of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were like opening a window to an ancient world, showcasing the architectural and cultural achievements of the Indus Valley civilization. This was a society that had its unique script still undeciphered, and urban planning that could rival any contemporary city today. The Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro, with its watertight construction, hinted at a society that placed significant emphasis on cleanliness and possibly ritual purification. As more archaeologists joined the fray, Ernest Mackay, Madho Sarup Vats, and Mortimer Wheeler, to name a few, the knowledge of this ancient civilization expanded. Each excavation across the Indus Valley region brought new insights. The narrative of the Indus Valley civilization challenged the then prevailing notion that complex urban life began solely with Mesopotamia and Egypt. Here was evidence of a parallel society that had flourished and then, for reasons still debated, declined and disappeared, leaving behind a legacy buried under the earth. Let's take a stroll back in time to explore Harappa, a city that once thrived in what's now the Punjab province of Pakistan. This ancient metropolis wasn't just any old city, it was a cornerstone of the Indus Valley civilization, bustling with life between 2600 BCE and 1900 BCE. The story of Harappa's discovery is as fascinating as the city itself. Initially spotted during the 19th century, it wasn't until the British were laying down railway tracks in the 1850s that Harappa began to reveal its secrets. Ironically, bricks from this ancient city were used in the construction of the railway, unknowingly dismantling a piece of history for the sake of progress. Fast forward to the 1920s, when Sir John Marshall and his team of archaeologists took a closer look and realized Harappa was part of something much bigger. They uncovered a city so advanced it would rewrite our understanding of urban planning in ancient times. Imagine walking through streets laid out in a perfect grid, with main roads up to 30 feet wide intersecting at right angles. This wasn't a haphazard settlement. It was a city built with precision and forethought, showcasing remarkable engineering skills. Harappa's infrastructure was nothing short of revolutionary. The city boasted an advanced drainage system, with covered drains along the main streets and smaller ones connecting from individual homes. This emphasis on cleanliness and public health is something many modern cities could learn from, and the buildings, all constructed with standardized baked bricks, stood as a testament to the Harappans' knowledge of materials engineering, giving the city a unified look. But Harappa wasn't just about impressive streets and sanitation. The city was alive with bustling granaries, which were central to its food storage and distribution system. These weren't just any granaries. They were massive structures located near the city's heart, hinting at a well-organized governance system that ensured the population was well-fed. Diving into the everyday lives of Harappans, we find a society that valued comfort and cleanliness. Houses, ranging from simple dwellings to more elaborate homes, often had their own wells and bathrooms. This level of domestic luxury suggests a society where social stratification was present, but also one that placed a high importance on individual welfare. And then there are the artifacts. The seals engraved with animal figures and an undeciphered script that hint at a complex system of communication, trade, administration, or perhaps even ritual. The pottery and tools unearthed in Harappa, from utility wares to beautifully decorated pieces, reflect the diverse occupations and crafts practiced in the city, painting a picture of a vibrant, bustling community. Harappa was more than just a city. It was a beacon of urban civilization, showcasing advancements that were unparalleled for its time. Its discovery and excavation have not only provided us with a glimpse into ancient urban life, but also challenged our perceptions of ancient civilizations and their capabilities. Nestled in the Sindh province of Pakistan lies Mohenjo-Daro, a site that's not just an archaeological treasure but a testament to the architectural genius of the Indus Valley civilization. This city, one of the most iconic remnants of ancient urban life, gives us a sneak peek into the lives of its people, their societal structure, and their unparalleled urban planning. The city was cleverly divided into two main areas: the lower city, bustling with residential and commercial life, and the Acropolis, where public and ceremonial buildings stood. This division speaks volumes about the level of organization and planning that went into Mohenjo-Daro. It wasn't just a cluster of buildings, it was a thoughtfully laid out city, designed for efficiency and order, with distinct zones dedicated to different aspects of daily life. But let's talk about the Great Bath, the crown jewel of Mohenjo-Daro. Imagine a large, watertight pool, meticulously constructed for religious purification rituals. Surrounded by corridors and rooms, the Great Bath wasn't just an architectural marvel. It was a central piece of the city's spiritual and communal life, emphasizing the importance of water not just for survival, but as a sacred element in their culture. The people of Mohenjo-Daro were master craftsmen, their skills shining through in the intricate beadwork, finely crafted metal objects, and beautiful pottery discovered at the site. These artifacts were not merely utilitarian. They bore the marks of artistic excellence and possibly held deeper symbolic meanings for their creators. The variety and quality of these items suggest a society that valued not only function, but form and beauty, integrating them into their everyday lives. Moreover, Mohenjo-Daro was a bustling economic center. The numerous seals, weights, and measures found among the ruins hint at a complex economy that thrived on both local and long-distance trade. This was a city that was not isolated. It was connected, engaging in commerce with distant lands, showcasing its economic prowess and its role as a significant player in the ancient world. Mohenjo-Daro, with its advanced urban planning and sophisticated architectural elements, stands as a shining example of the ingenuity of the Indus Valley civilization.
There was a myth that told of a time when there was an advanced civilization on this planet. They were so advanced, they were almost gods. But they became corrupt. They became cruel. And the universe wouldn't put up with that. The universe struck them down.
Unraveling the mysteries of ancient history often feels like detective work, where archaeologists, historians, and scientists assume the role of detectives searching through the sands of time. One of the most captivating tales to emerge from these explorations is the story of Helika, an ancient Greek city that vanished overnight in 373 BC after a devastating earthquake and tsunami. Located in the Peloponnese, Helika was a major cultural and religious hub devoted to Poseidon, the god of the sea and earthquakes. For centuries, this city was mere legend, likened to the mythical Atlantis due to its sudden and mysterious disappearance.
Ooh, archaeologists hate the word Atlantis. Because they've proved that Atlantis could never have existed, even though they have not looked at the parts of the world that need to be looked at.
The quest to locate the lost city of Helika began in earnest during the 19th century, though initial searches yielded no results. These early explorers often relied on speculation rather than scientific method, leading them to dig at various sites across the northern Peloponnese where no evidence of Helike was found.
There are huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all, or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally.
Many were misguided by local legends and misinterpretations of ancient texts, which directed them towards sites that were visually appealing or mythologically significant, but geologically improbable. A more methodical search began in 1998 with the formation of the Helike Project, spearheaded by Greek archaeologist Dora Katsonopoulou and American researcher Steven Sota. This project marked a turning point as it adopted an interdisciplinary approach, integrating archaeology with geology, physics, and other sciences.
Carbon dating can only date organic material. It can't date stone.
The team also benefited from global collaboration, drawing experts from around the world, including seismologists from the University of Patras. Their use of advanced technologies like electrical resistivity and seismic reflection was pivotal. These geophysical surveys allowed the team to detect underground anomalies and patterns indicative of archaeological remains without disturbing the surface. Such non-invasive methods guided the archaeologists to the precise location where Helika was eventually discovered, confirming the effectiveness of combining traditional and modern techniques in archaeology. In addition to employing ground-penetrating radar to explore beneath the surface, every artifact uncovered during the excavations was meticulously documented. The team took photographs, made drawings, and wrote detailed notes about each find and its context. This careful documentation was crucial for piecing together the site's history and understanding the development of Helike over time, highlighting how modern archaeological practices can illuminate ancient civilizations.
Let's call in the archaeologists to make sure that we're not going to wreck any ancient archaeology while we're doing this. A lot of archaeological discoveries are made as a result of that.
The year 2001 marked a significant milestone for the Helike project, as researchers finally unearthed concrete evidence proving the existence of the ancient city. Among the key discoveries were large building foundations, which suggested they were part of residential and possibly public structures due to their size and layout. These foundations were crucial in confirming the site as Helike, perfectly aligning with historical descriptions of the city's architecture. Scattered across the excavation site, archaeologists found numerous pottery shards ranging from simple domestic ware to more elaborate pieces, likely used for religious or ceremonial purposes. This wide array of pottery helped illustrate the daily life and spiritual practices of Helike's inhabitants. Additionally, a variety of other cultural debris was recovered, including tools, coins, and decorative items, which provided deeper insights into the economic and social aspects of life in the classical Greek period. The style and craftsmanship of these artifacts were distinctly classical Greek, aiding in accurately dating the site. Such findings were consistent with other known sites from the same era in Greece, offering a comparative framework for understanding Helike's cultural and historical context. The layout of the ruins also indicated that Helike was a well-planned city with defined zones for residential, commercial, and possibly religious activities. This spatial organization provided valuable clues about urban planning and social organization in ancient Greek cities. The discoveries at Helike not only opened a window into the past, but also spurred further archaeological and historical research in the region. The Helike excavation has been highlighted as a model for archaeological methodology, particularly due to its use of modern technology and meticulous documentation techniques. The success of the project underscored the importance of an interdisciplinary approach, integrating archaeology with other scientific disciplines like geology and environmental science. The search for Helike shares several intriguing parallels with the search for another legendary city, Troy. Both Helike and Troy were long considered to be myths. Troy was immortalized by Homer in the Iliad and was thought to be purely legendary until its rediscovery by Heinrich Schliemann in the 19th century. Schliemann famously used Homer's texts as a guide to locate Troy, much like early searchers of Helike used ancient writings. However, modern searches for both cities have relied on sophisticated archaeological techniques and scientific methods rather than solely on literary sources. The eventual rediscovery of both cities after being lost for millennia changed our understanding of ancient history, demonstrating how modern archaeology bridges the gap between past myths and present reality. One of the first clues that confirmed the archaeological site as the ancient city of Helike was the discovery of bronze coins dating from the 4th century BC. These coins, which featured the image of Poseidon, the sea god notably worshipped in Helike, provided not only spiritual and cultural context, but also helped archaeologists map out significant activity areas and understand the city's economic dynamics before its catastrophic end. As the excavation progressed, the team unearthed multiple cultural layers that revealed the site's long history of habitation and rebuilding. These layers included classical Greek remains as well as Hellenistic and Roman artifacts, showcasing a diverse range of lifestyles and economic conditions over the centuries. The variety of artifacts found, from domestic pottery to luxury goods, illustrated a timeline of prosperity and artistic flourishing, particularly evident in the more elaborate Hellenistic artifacts. The evidence of the catastrophe that struck Helike was also vividly preserved in the geological layers at the site. Seismic layers of sand and debris matched historical accounts of the earthquake and tsunami that led to the city's destruction. Detailed sedimentological studies indicated abrupt changes in grain size and composition typical of tsunami backwash, including marine microfossils and salts that hinted at extensive inundation by seawater. Moreover, the excavation revealed remarkably well-preserved organic remains, such as wooden tools and food remnants, which survived under the anaerobic conditions created by rapid burial under mud and debris.
You want to be pretty sure that the organic material dates from the same time as the megalith and wasn't introduced later.
This lack of oxygen significantly slowed decay processes, providing a rare and invaluable glimpse into the daily lives of the people of Helike. Analyzing these organic materials has shed light on the Helikians' diet, agriculture, and domestic technologies. For example, carbonized seeds and grain residues have revealed the types of crops that were cultivated, while preserved wooden implements have offered clues about the craftsmanship and household activities of that era. Through meticulous excavation and careful analysis, the project has peeled back the layers of time, providing a detailed picture of life in Helike before its sudden destruction and a better understanding of the ancient disaster that buried it. The catastrophic disappearance of Helike in 373 BC offers a fascinating real-world counterpart to the legendary story of Atlantis, the mythical island described by Plato as sinking into the sea overnight due to divine retribution. These two stories of sudden destruction provide deep insights into the ancient civilizations and the ways in which they are remembered in myth and history. Helike was a real city-state located on the Peloponnesian peninsula of Greece, well known as a prosperous center dedicated to Poseidon. It was tragically destroyed overnight by an earthquake and tsunami, completely erased from the map until its rediscovery in 2001. In contrast, Atlantis is described in Plato's Timaeus and Critias as an advanced civilization with a powerful empire that was lost to the ocean as a form of divine punishment for its hubris. Unlike Helike, the existence and exact location of Atlantis remain subjects of speculation and debate, with theories placing it anywhere from the Mediterranean Sea to the Caribbean. This enduring mystery adds to the allure of the Atlantis story. Both Helike and Atlantis were said to have suffered sudden catastrophes. Helike's downfall was confirmed by geological evidence pointing to natural disasters, while the destruction of Atlantis is known only through Plato's philosophical allegory. The stories of these cities highlight the impact of natural disasters on civilizations and serve as moral and philosophical cautionary tales about the potential consequences of defying the gods or engaging in morally corrupt behaviors. While Helike's story is backed by historical records and archaeological findings, Atlantis is often seen as a mythological symbol used by Plato to discuss philosophical theories. The search for Helike has encouraged new research in archaeology, geology, and disaster studies, providing valuable insights into ancient urban planning and disaster management.
There's huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally. Of course, the most important are the flooded continental shelves, and that's why Santha and I spent 7 years of our lives scuba diving all around the world.
Nestled at the westernmost edge of the Saurashtra Peninsula in what is now the state of Gujarat, India, the ancient city of Dwarka offers a narrative that is as rich in spirituality and mythology as it is in historical urban development.
The calculation is that 27 million square kilometers that was above water during the Ice Age is underwater now.
The city's strategic positioning near the confluence of the Gomati River and the Arabian Sea played a pivotal role not just in safeguarding it from potential invaders, but also in bolstering maritime trade and fostering connections with other parts of the ancient world. This geographical advantage, coupled with the city being enveloped by water on all sides, either as a peninsula or a series of islands, crafted a natural fortress that was a challenge for any adversary to overcome.
Most of human civilization has been organized around water, right? And as the water levels change, some of those ancient cities could be completely covered.
We did a lot of diving in southern India, so it was great for her to be able to talk in their own language to Tamil fishermen and Tamil divers and see if they'd seen any weird stuff underwater, which they certainly had.
Moreover, the Gomati River's proximity not only enhanced the city's scenic beauty, but also served as a crucial lifeline for its residents. Dwarka's urban landscape, as depicted in ancient texts, was nothing short of architectural grandeur. The city boasted of meticulously planned streets, a state-of-the-art drainage system, and formidable fortifications, all of which were divided into well-defined sectors for residential, commercial, and administrative purposes.
We know that it's been underwater for about 6,000 or 7,000 years, but the question is, how long before that was it made? How long did it stand there above water?
This level of urban planning and civil engineering sophistication showcases an advanced understanding of city management and infrastructure development, making Dwarka a marvel in ancient urban planning. The city's defensive structures, including a series of gates and fortifications, underscored the thoughtful defensive strategy employed in its construction. These were not merely architectural feats, but were strategically designed to regulate access and provide unwavering protection against invasions. Such architectural and strategic prowess points to a high degree of sophistication and indicates that Dwarka was a city that blended beauty with brains, making it a formidable entity in the ancient world.
You're coming across statues underwater, you're coming across columns underwater. It's just magical in diving on an underwater city.
Diving into the depths off the coast of modern-day Dwarka in Gujarat, India, archaeologists have embarked on marine explorations that have significantly advanced our understanding of the ancient city's grandeur and the sophisticated civilization that once flourished there. These underwater explorations have brought to light submerged structures, stone foundations, walls, pillars and steps that many believe were part of the legendary Dwarka, a city of immense importance in Hindu scriptures. The discovery of such elaborate underwater architecture points towards the advanced engineering and construction techniques of the time, hinting at a society that was far ahead of its contemporaries in terms of urban planning and infrastructure development. The use of modern technology, including sonar scanning, diving explorations, and underwater photography, has been instrumental in mapping out the submerged city, providing us with a clearer picture of its complexity and the scale at which it operated. But the revelations don't stop at structures. A plethora of artifacts unearthed both from the seabed and land excavations near Dwarka tell tales of a culturally rich and economically prosperous society. The remnants of well-laid streets and an elaborate drainage system underscore a high degree of urban planning, indicative of a society that valued organization, environmental health, and the well-being of its citizens. Moreover, the variety of materials discovered suggests Dwarka was a bustling hub of trade and cultural exchange, maintaining connections with other civilizations of its time. This diversity not only showcases the city's economic vitality, but also its cultural openness and dynamism. But perhaps what's most fascinating is the chronological evidence unearthed through radiocarbon dating.
We have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old. The largely and correctly discredited notion of an Aryan invasion of India needs to be abandoned.
Some artifacts and structural components of the submerged city have been dated back to the 2nd millennium BCE, aligning Dwarka's timeline with that of Lord Krishna, as described in traditional beliefs and ancient texts. This dating not only cements Dwarka's place as a significant cultural, religious, and economic center in the ancient world, but also bridges the gap between mythological narratives and historical reality. These archaeological findings offer a tangible framework to understand the evolution of urban settlements in ancient India, shedding light on societal structures, trade practices, and the cultural dynamics of the time. As we piece together clues from the past, Dwarka holds a special place in the tapestry of Hindu mythology and Indian ancient history, not just for its divine origins, but also for the mystery and majesty that encompass its story. At the heart of Dwarka's legend is its foundation by Lord Krishna, a pivotal figure in Hinduism revered across various traditions. The epic tales from the Mahabharata and the Bhagavata Purana tell us of Krishna's quest to protect his people from persistent threats, leading to the establishment of this city. It wasn't just a random choice. Krishna was strategic, opting for a location that offered natural defenses and prosperous living conditions for his subjects. Positioned on the western coast, Dwarka was a fortress against adversaries, thanks to its geographical advantages and access to vital sea routes that facilitated trade and communication. This city wasn't just a safe haven, it was a symbol of divine protection and ingenuity, blending spiritual significance with architectural splendor. The story of Dwarka, with its grand buildings and eventual mysterious submergence, captures the imagination, making it a subject of fascination and reverence. Dwarka, often hailed as the City of Gold in ancient scriptures, embodies not just the literal application of gold in its architecture, but also represents an era of unparalleled wealth, prosperity, and architectural ingenuity. This legendary city, with its palaces shimmering with gold and precious stones, grand public spaces, and formidable fortifications, stands as a testament to the zenith of ancient urban development and prosperity. The city's opulence wasn't confined to its material wealth. It extended to its sophisticated design and layout, which were attributed to Vishwakarma, the divine architect in Hindu mythology. Commissioned by Lord Krishna, Vishwakarma's vision for Dwarka was nothing short of architectural brilliance. The planning of Dwarka was meticulously executed, with distinct zones for residential quarters, marketplaces, temples, and public buildings. This segregation ensured that the city functioned efficiently, with each area serving its purpose without encroaching on another. The residential quarters, designed for comfort and accessibility, were likely constructed with not just security in mind, but also aesthetics, ensuring that the city's inhabitants lived in an environment that was safe, beautiful, and harmonious with nature. But perhaps the most captivating tale of Dwarka is its mysterious submergence.
The submergence of those sites is largely because of subsidence of land rather than sea level rise, because it's relatively recent.
Legend has it that following Lord Krishna's departure from this world, the city met its end, swallowed by the sea. This story isn't just a pivotal chapter in Hindu mythology, marking the end of an era and the onset of Kali Yuga. It has also piqued the interest of archaeologists and historians. Their underwater explorations near the modern city of Dwarka have unearthed submerged structures, offering a tangible link to the city's legendary past. These discoveries hint at the existence of a significant settlement that might have gradually succumbed to rising sea levels or other catastrophic events, giving some historical backbone to the mythological tales. The submergence of Dwarka is often seen through a symbolic lens, reflecting on the ephemeral nature of wealth and the inevitability of change. It reminds us that even the most splendid creations, no matter how grand or well-built, are not immune to the forces of time and nature. This story, rich with historical intrigue and mythological depth, continues to enchant and provoke thought, bridging the ancient with the present and the mythical with the real.
There's huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Or if looked at by archaeology, looked at only minimally. It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
Ancient structures with astronomical alignments fascinate historians, archaeologists, and astronomers alike, as they offer a glimpse into the sophisticated understanding of celestial movements by ancient civilizations. These structures, often monumental, not only served religious or cultural purposes, but also acted as precise astronomical observatories, so we think.
We think it makes more sense, take the geology, take the astronomy. This monument has its origins 12,000 years ago.
The majestic pyramids of Giza have stood on the Giza Plateau, near Cairo, Egypt, for millennia, captivating us not just with their monumental architecture, but also with the mysteries of their celestial alignments. These ancient marvels, which include the towering Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Khafre, and the smaller Pyramid of Menkora, along with the enigmatic Great Sphinx and several smaller Queen's Pyramids, represent a pinnacle of ancient engineering and astronomical precision.
And that astronomical connection to the stars at that time says to me, we cannot divorce the ancient Egyptians from the Great Pyramid.
It's fascinating to think that the Great Pyramid, with its original height of 146.6 meters, held the title of the tallest man-made structure for over 3,800 years, constructed from an estimated 2.3 million blocks of stone. What really piques curiosity is the precision with which these pyramids are aligned to the cardinal points of the compass. The Great Pyramid's slight deviation from true north by just 3/60th of a degree is a testament to the ancient Egyptians' advanced knowledge of astronomy. They achieved this using the stars, particularly the circumpolar stars, which they deemed imperishable. Even more intriguing is the Orion correlation theory, which suggests the pyramid's layout mirrors the stars in Orion's belt. This celestial mapping not only connects the earthly to the divine, but also underscores the pharaoh's intended journey to join the gods in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians' belief in an afterlife where the pharaoh, as a deity, would join the sun god Ra in his daily journey across the sky and through the underworld at night is reflected in the orientation and text of the pyramids. These were not merely tombs, but served as stairways to heaven, ensuring the pharaoh's soul could ascend to the stars. The alignment with Orion's belt, associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, rebirth and rejuvenation, further cements the pyramid's role in this divine narrative.
That is who Osiris is. His image is seen in the sky as the constellation of Orion.
Drawing a parallel, the ancient Mesoamerican city of Teotihuacan showcases similar astronomical knowledge and architectural grandeur. The main structures at Teotihuacan, Notably, the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon, and the Temple of the Feathered Serpent also reflect celestial bodies, echoing the pyramids of Giza's connection with the cosmos. This shared inclination towards understanding and integrating celestial phenomena into architecture highlights a universal human desire to connect with the universe, a theme that transcends time, culture, and geography. The stories these ancient structures tell of humanity's quest to understand the cosmos and our place within it continue to fascinate and inspire. Through their enduring legacy, the pyramids of Giza showcase the ancient Egyptians' remarkable achievements in architecture and astronomy. Continuing our journey through ancient marvels that blend architectural genius with celestial precision, let's turn our gaze to Chichen Itza. This UNESCO World Heritage Site in the Yucatan Peninsula is a dazzling testament to the Maya-Toltec civilization flourishing from the 7th to the 10th century AD. Among its many wonders, the Temple of Kukulkan, or El Castillo, stands out as a symbol of the Mayans' advanced understanding of astronomy and their calendar system. El Castillo is not just any pyramid, it's a four-sided structure with 91 steps on each side and one additional step at the top, totaling 365 steps. This clever design mirrors the solar year, encapsulating the Mayas' profound connection with time itself. But the marvels don't stop there. During the equinoxes, a play of light and shadow creates the illusion of a serpent slithering down the pyramid, culminating in a stone sculpture of a serpent's head at the base. This phenomenon draws crowds from around the world, eager to witness the ancient Mayas' ability to encode astronomical events into their architecture. The descent of this serpent symbolizes the return of Kukulkan, a deity associated with fertility and agriculture. This event likely signaled critical times for planting or harvesting, weaving the cosmos directly into the fabric of daily life and spiritual belief. But the pyramid's mysteries include auditory wonders as well. Claps at the base echo in a way that mimics the sacred Quetzal bird's chirp, perhaps intended to evoke the voice of Kukulkan during rituals. Looking beyond Chichen Itza, we find parallels in the ancient world that resonate with its astronomical sophistication. Machu Picchu, perched high in the Peruvian Andes, shares this celestial alignment, though it reflects the Incan mastery over the landscape and the heavens. Here, structures align with solstices, and the Intihuatana stone serves as an astronomical clock, much like El Castillo's alignments mark the equinoxes. Both Chichen Itza and Machu Picchu stand as testaments to their civilization's astronomical knowledge and architectural prowess. They remind us of the universal human desire to understand and integrate the cosmos into our lives, a theme as old as civilization itself. Through their enduring legacy, these ancient sites continue to captivate and inspire, offering glimpses into a time when the sky was a map, a clock, and a canvas to align our creations with the stars. Diving deeper into our exploration of ancient sites that masterfully intertwine architecture with celestial phenomena, let's venture to the Emerald Isle, where Newgrange stands as a preeminent beacon of prehistoric culture. This Neolithic marvel, predating Stonehenge and the pyramids of Egypt, was constructed around 3200 BC. Its architectural and astronomical precision speaks volumes about the ingenuity of its creators, revealing a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos that challenges our perceptions of ancient societies. At the heart of Newgrange is a massive circular mound, sprawling across about an acre, with a diameter of approximately 85 meters and a height of 13.5 meters. This structure houses a long passage stretching about 19 meters into the mound, leading to a cruciform chamber. The chamber's corbelled roof, still waterproof after millennia, stands as a testament to the remarkable skill of its builders. Yet the true genius of Newgrange lies in its astronomical alignment. Each year during the winter solstice, sunlight streams through the roof box above the entrance, bathing the inner chamber in light for about 17 minutes. This stunning phenomenon underscores a profound connection with the solar calendar, illuminating the builder's deep astronomical knowledge. The purpose and symbolism behind Newgrange's alignment with the winter solstice have been subjects of fascination. Many believe it symbolized the rebirth of the sun, marking a period of renewal and rejuvenation. This alignment may have also represented a time when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, facilitating communication with the ancestors or deities. The discovery of human bones and grave goods within suggests that Newgrange served as a sacred space for burial or ancestor worship, playing a significant role in ceremonies related to life, death, and the cycles of nature. Drawing an intriguing parallel, let's consider Göbekli Tepe in present-day Turkey, a site that predates Newgrange by several millennia.
It's going to require us to reconsider our whole dating sequence on megalithic sites.
Known as the world's oldest temple complex, Göbekli Tepe's massive stone pillars arranged in circles and adorned with intricate carvings suggest an early form of star worship or an attempt to mark significant celestial events. Despite the vast differences in age and cultural background, both Newgrange and Göbekli Tepe exhibit advanced architectural techniques and a keen understanding of astronomical phenomena. Their construction not only served practical or ritualistic purposes, but also symbolized a deeper connection between the earthly realm and the cosmos. The spiritual and ceremonial significance of both sites likely made them focal points for gatherings and rituals, marking them as places where the community could engage with the divine. These ancient structures, through their enduring presence and the mysteries they hold, continue to draw us in, offering a window into the minds of those who built them, and a reminder of humanity's eternal fascination with the stars and the natural cycles that govern life on Earth.
I believe that it's worth considering the possibility of a remote common ancestor, which passed down key information that was inherited by later cultures. I'm willing to accept that the Great Pyramid was largely completed by the ancient Egyptians. But remember that the ancient Egyptians tell us in many of their texts that everything they knew was a legacy.
Imagine stepping back in time, way before the majestic pyramids of Egypt were ever conceived, and finding yourself exploring the Blombos Cave on the southern coast of South Africa. Discovered in the 1990s by Professor Christopher Henshelwood, this cave has turned out to be a treasure trove of artifacts dating back about 100,000 years to the Middle Stone Age, offering a unique glimpse into early human culture.
Are we looking at the traces of a forgotten episode in human history? I think so. I think that's what's going on here.
The variety of artifacts found in Blombos Cave is nothing short of astounding. Among these treasures are some of the earliest known bone tools. These weren't just rudimentary tools, but were delicately crafted, indicating a high level of skill and an advanced understanding of materials long before similar tools appeared in other parts of the world. The sophistication in these tools suggests that early humans were far more advanced than previously thought. But the artifacts don't stop there. The cave has also yielded pieces of ochre engraved with geometric patterns. Far from being mere decorations, these engravings are believed to represent some of the earliest forms of symbolic communication and abstract art, hinting at the complex cognitive abilities of their creators.
There's more and more evidence that cave art that was attributed to Homo sapiens was actually done by Neanderthals.
This ability to think abstractly and to plan suggests a significant leap in human cognitive development, often referred to as the cognitive revolution. Moreover, the discovery of shell beads in the cave points to a culture that valued personal adornment and possibly had social or ritualistic practices involving these items. These beads could have been used in necklaces or bracelets, potentially serving as a form of currency or social stratification. When we compare these ancient engravings to the later, more detailed Lascaux cave paintings in France, a fascinating picture emerges. Although the Lascaux paintings, which date to about 17,000 years ago, are more visually complex, the abstract patterns and use of materials like ochre at Blombos may represent an earlier form of the same cognitive evolution towards symbolic thought and communication. This comparison not only underscores the continuity in human artistic endeavors, but also highlights the depth and richness of human creativity from its very beginnings. These findings from Blombos Cave challenge our previous assumptions about prehistoric humans and provide deep insights into the evolution of human cognition, artistic expression, and social structures. They paint a picture of a complex, nuanced society engaged in sophisticated practices and thought processes long before many other known civilizations. Let's travel from the ancient ingenuity displayed in South Africa's Blombos Cave to another fascinating archaeological site, Çatalhöyük, in south-central Turkey. Discovered by James Mellart in the late 1950s and later excavated by Ian Hodder, Çatalhöyük has been a goldmine of information about Neolithic urban life, dating back between 9,500 to 7,700 years ago. Covering about 32 acres, Çatalhöyük isn't your typical ancient city. The settlement was incredibly well planned, with houses made of mud bricks built so close to each other that the roofs served dual purposes: ceilings for the dwellings they topped, and terraces for the adjacent upper levels. This unique architectural style suggests a highly organized society with no clear signs of social stratification, which is pretty unusual for such an early form of urban development. The residents of Çatalhöyük had a vibrant cultural life, as evidenced by the elaborate frescoes adorning the walls of their homes. These murals, which are among the earliest known examples of narrative art, depict detailed hunting scenes and vultures, providing a window into the community's beliefs, rituals, and the environment around them. Religion appears to have played a central role in daily life at Çatalhöyük. This is indicated by the numerous figurines and shrines unearthed during excavations, with a notable prevalence of female symbols and figures suggesting potentially matriarchal elements in their social structure. One of the most intriguing theories about Çatalhöyük is that it might have been an egalitarian society. The uniformity in house size and communal living arrangements support the idea of a proto-communist social order, where there wasn't a significant emphasis on social hierarchy. This is further backed by the absence of grand tombs or palatial structures, which are usually indicative of pronounced social stratification. These comparisons not only highlight the diversity in how early urban societies could be structured and function, but also enrich our understanding of human social evolution. As we delve deeper into these ancient cities, we continue to uncover how our ancestors lived, worked, and formed communities, providing valuable insights into the past that shape our knowledge of human history. The story of the Derinkuyu underground city in Cappadocia, Turkey, reads like something out of a fascinating mystery novel, complete with accidental discoveries and architectural wonders.
It's really important to understand that archaeology is often driven by accidental finds.
Located in a region celebrated for its unique geological features, particularly the soft volcanic rock that has been easily sculpted for millennia, Derinkuyu is the largest of the many underground cities carved into this landscape. Our tale begins in 1963, when an ordinary homeowner in Derinkuyu, known only to a few, decided to make some home improvements. Little did he know that knocking down a wall in his basement would open a door to the past. Behind the wall was a passage that led to a complex network of rooms and tunnels extending deep beneath the earth. What the homeowner had discovered was not a simple series of rooms, but an elaborate subterranean city that stretched down as much as 85 meters and included at least 18 levels. This ancient city wasn't just a refuge, it was a fully functional community with everything from homes and communal gathering places to schools, places of worship, and tombs. When local authorities were alerted to the find, archaeologists rushed to explore this underground marvel. They were astounded to discover that Derinkuyu could have supported as many as 20,000 people along with their animals and stored food. The city's design was remarkably sophisticated, with ventilation shafts that ensured fresh air could reach even the deepest levels, similar to modern-day air conditioning systems. The city's architecture suggested that its creators were not only skilled builders, but also clever strategists. Massive stone doors could be rolled across passageways to seal off the city from invaders, and narrow tunnels would have forced any intruders to enter in single file, making them easier to defend against. Derinkuyu's design is often compared to the labyrinth of Minos from Greek mythology, intended to confuse or trap unwanted guests with its complex layout and her minimal exits. This feature, along with its ventilation and security measures, highlights a level of planning and engineering that parallels the sophistication of certain modern infrastructures. The Altamira Cave, nestled in the picturesque Cantabria region of northern Spain, was brought to international attention in 1879 by Marcelino Sanz de Sotuola, who famously declared that its stunning cave paintings were of prehistoric origin. This initial claim faced a great deal of skepticism, but was eventually verified, proving the paintings to be an astonishing 36,000 years old, dating back to the Upper Paleolithic period. Renowned for their vivid depiction of wild mammals and human hands, the paintings of Altamira are celebrated for their vibrant polychrome techniques. Artists of the time utilized an impressive palette created from charcoal, ochre, and hematite to produce colors ranging from deep blacks and yellows to rich reds. These pigments were not just randomly splashed on, but were applied meticulously with tools like fingers, fur pads, or flint tools, pointing to a sophisticated understanding of materials and methods. The subjects of these paintings, mainly bison, horses, and boars, are portrayed with a remarkable sense of movement and dimensionality that is rarely seen in other Paleolithic art. This dynamic portrayal suggests that these creatures were not only important food sources, but also held a significant place in the cultural and spiritual life of the people. The detailed depiction of their anatomy and behavior reflects a deep observational skill and suggests that the artists were highly knowledgeable about their subjects. The realism and artistry of Altamira's cave paintings, especially the famous bison scenes, highlight the painters' extraordinary skills and their keen eye for detail. Some scholars believe that these paintings were used in rituals or shamanistic practices aimed at ensuring a successful hunt or invoking animal spirits, indicating that the cave might have been a place of great spiritual importance. Altamira's artists mastered the art of creating depth and movement through adept shading and contouring, focusing more on realism and possibly the spiritual connection between the human and animal worlds.
He knew a mystery when he saw it, and he couldn't explain it. We should be open-minded enough to consider the possibility that some of the answers may sit outside of our current perspective.
What do conventional archaeologists say when they're confronted by all of this data?
Ever wondered what went on inside those magnificent pyramids of ancient Egypt? Well, buckle up, because we're about to delve into the fascinating world of the ancient pyramid texts. These inscriptions carved onto the pyramid walls around 2400 to 2300 BCE are like a window into the hearts and minds of the people who built these incredible structures. These texts weren't just random scribbles, they were meticulously crafted during a pivotal period in Egyptian history, the twilight of the Old Kingdom. This era is famous for the iconic pyramids, those towering tombs for pharaohs. The pyramids themselves are a testament to the Egyptians' architectural genius and their deep understanding of math and engineering. But the pyramid texts are more than just historical footnotes. They're the earliest known religious writings from Egypt, offering a glimpse into the beliefs and practices of this ancient civilization. They're like cultural snapshots showing how art, architecture, and religion were all woven together. The pyramids themselves were seen as the ultimate expression of both religious devotion and the pharaoh's supreme power. Speaking of power, the pharaohs of the Old Kingdom weren't just seen as leaders, they were considered living gods. This concept of divine kingship was the glue that held society together, justifying the pharaoh's absolute authority. The pyramid texts are all about this. They're basically spells and instructions meant to help the pharaoh navigate the afterlife and join the gods, further solidifying the idea of their godlike status. Imagine a society where the pharaoh is at the top of the pyramid, wielding immense power. That's exactly what the Old Kingdom was like. This centralized system allowed them to mobilize the massive resources and manpower needed to build the pyramids. It also meant the government had a tight grip on things, controlling people and resources to a great extent. But running a complex society like this wasn't a walk in the park. It required a well-oiled bureaucratic machine, and that's what the Egyptians had. This network of officials kept things running smoothly, organizing labor, managing resources, and handling the countless details of daily life. It was a sophisticated system for a sophisticated society. We've talked about the cultural significance of the pyramid texts and the social structure of the Old Kingdom, but how did they manage to pull off such massive building projects? Building a pyramid wasn't like putting together a piece of IKEA furniture. It required serious resources and manpower. Imagine this: hauling giant blocks of stone, transporting them for miles, and feeding a whole army of workers for years on end. That's what the Egyptians had to do to build the pyramids. It was a massive undertaking, requiring a well-oiled economic engine. Here's where things get interesting. Contrary to popular belief, the pyramids weren't built by slaves, but by a paid workforce. These workers were likely skilled laborers, artisans, and even seasonal workers, and they were treated pretty well. We found evidence of medical care, food, and even some form of compensation. So how could they afford all this? The answer lies in a concept called economic surplus. Basically, they had enough resources left over after taking care of basic needs like food and shelter to invest in these grand projects. This surplus came from their mastery of agriculture thanks to the Nile River's annual floods. These floods enriched the land and allowed them to grow more food than they needed to survive, freeing up people to work on other things like, you guessed it, building pyramids. But the pyramids are more than just piles of stone, they're symbols too. Many believe they represent the rays of the sun, a pathway for the pharaoh's soul to reach the heavens. This symbolism is deeply connected to the pyramid texts, which are filled with references to the sun god Ra. It all goes back to the Egyptians' belief system, where religion, royalty, and the universe were all interconnected. Speaking of connections, the pyramid texts are like the great-grandparents of later Egyptian religious texts. They paved the way for things like the coffin texts and the Book of the Dead. These later texts show how Egyptian beliefs evolved over time, adapting and becoming more accessible to people beyond just the pharaohs. So we've explored the economic engine behind the pyramids and the deeper meaning they hold. But let's not forget the pyramids themselves. They weren't just giant piles of stone. They were meticulously designed and built with a specific purpose in mind. Imagine these pyramids as giant tombs, built to house the bodies and possessions of pharaohs after they passed away. But they weren't just storage units. They were designed to help the pharaoh's soul on its journey to the afterlife, and that's where the pyramid texts come in. These inscriptions were like a guidebook for the pharaoh's soul, offering spells and protection every step of the way. The most famous pyramid containing these texts belongs to Unas, the last ruler of the 5th dynasty. His pyramid, located in Saqqara, was the first to include these inscriptions, paving the way for future pharaohs to follow suit. Think of it like a new trend. Once Unas did it, other pharaohs like Teti, Pepi I, and even Pepi II decided they wanted pyramid texts too. These texts weren't just scribbled on any old piece of papyrus. They were painstakingly carved into the very walls of the pyramids by skilled artisans. Imagine the dedication and precision it took to etch those intricate hieroglyphs into stone. This not only shows the skill of the craftsman, but also highlights the importance of the texts themselves. They were considered so sacred and valuable that they deserved a permanent and prominent place within the pyramids. Speaking of sacredness, these texts were like the holy scripts of their time. They contained spells, prayers, and hymns, all designed to ensure the pharaoh's safe passage to the afterlife and even his transformation into a god. The fact that they were placed inside the pyramids, which were themselves seen as sacred spaces, further emphasizes their importance. But here's the interesting part. Initially, these texts were an exclusive club. Only the pharaohs got to enjoy their benefits, further solidifying their divine status in society. It kind of reflects the hierarchical structure of the time, where access to certain religious practices and texts was restricted to the privileged few. However, things eventually changed. Over time, the concepts and spells found in the pyramid texts started to trickle down to the broader Egyptian population. This led to the development of the coffin texts, and later the famous Book of the Dead. These later texts mark a turning point, making spells and rituals for the afterlife more accessible, not just for the pharaohs but for regular people too. So the pyramid texts, originally exclusive to the pharaohs, became the seed for a more democratic approach to the afterlife in ancient Egypt. Now, imagine unearthing a piece of history that rewrites what we know about writing. That's exactly what happened in the 1920s when the Kish tablet was discovered in the ancient city of Kish, Mesopotamia. This wasn't just any clay tablet. It was a game changer, offering a glimpse into the very origins of writing and the fascinating society that developed it. Kish was no ordinary town. Located along the Euphrates River, it was a bustling hub of trade, politics, and culture, attracting people from far and wide. This melting pot of cultures likely played a key role in the birth of writing, as different people brought their own symbols and ways of record-keeping, eventually leading to the development of proto-cuneiform script. The discovery of the Kish tablet itself is a story of collaboration. Archaeologists from the Field Museum of Natural History, led by Stephen Langdon, joined forces with other experts to uncover the secrets of Kish. Back then, excavation techniques were evolving, becoming more systematic and meticulous, which was crucial for carefully preserving and documenting this historic find. But what's so special about this tablet? Well, the writing system on it is like a Rosetta Stone of the ancient world. It's one of the earliest examples of written communication, showcasing the transition from picture-based symbols to the complex wedge-shaped script known as cuneiform. This shift reflects the growing complexity of Sumerian society, as people needed new ways to keep track of things. The creation and use of the Kish tablet also hint at a well-organized society. Imagine a city-state managing resources, governing its people, and even engaging in trade with other regions. Writing wasn't just about leaving messages, it was essential for recording transactions, laws, and important decisions. But the impact of writing goes beyond practicalities. It opened doors for cultural expression and the preservation of knowledge. With writing, the Sumerians could record their myths, laws, and historical events, ensuring they weren't lost to time. This paved the way for the rich literary traditions that flourished in the ancient Near East. The Kish tablet is a reminder that writing wasn't just a random invention. It was a necessity for keeping complex societies running smoothly. It also opened doors for cultural exchange and the preservation of knowledge across generations. This discovery continues to spark debates among scholars, with some questioning whether writing originated independently in Mesopotamia or was influenced by other cultures. The mystery surrounding the exact function and content of the tablet adds to its allure, making it a captivating piece of history that continues to captivate archaeologists and historians alike.